Hello?
Big man, down here. It's me, Dermot.
You're a talking ant.
Correct. Spring has sprung, my friend. So, me and about 500,000 of the guys will be moving in.
But you can't just...
Guys, let's party.
Ants and other beasts don't care that it's your house. Without the right protection, it's their house. Call Omega Environmental now for expert help in taking back your property.
Dude, you made banana bread. Nice.
Crack, everybody. How are you getting on? You're all very welcome. It's Wednesday. It is the 31st of March, 2021. And by Jesus Christ, we had our birthday the other day. 4 years old to podcast this. A little baby. A baby of a podcast. I'm going to move this mic a bit closer to me. Apologies for the crack it. Oh, Lord. Well, it's early in the morning. I said, fuck it. I've got it. Believe it or not, a busy day ahead of me. So I said, I'd get up now and I'll get this done nice and early. And I feel it quite sprightly. I might do it more often in the morning. Although podcasting and chatting seems to happen late enough in the evening, the old brain to be burnt out a small bit. My thanks, as always, to the Patreons. You know the crack. You're looking at this on the video. Well, you have the choice. People don't. Sometimes people don't. They don't listen to it. They'll what are you doing? Yeah, there we go. Sorry. Apologies. Technical issues for a second. What I thought was technical issues for a second. Yeah, people don't. I think they're happy to be patrons, but they don't always watch the videos because they're working on shit and all the rest of it. You will, at the top of the show, have just heard listener Mick, we did an ad for his company, Omega Environmental. So if you have any issues with any sort of pests, I mean, the big old four-legged ones, you may want to call somebody with a gun, but anything under that, the sort of fuckers that climb through your walls or crawl under your door, Omega Environmental is where you need to go. So, delighted to do that and slipping it at the top for the crack. So, we had a dinger, an absolute dinger. If you missed out, I know who was on, Shane was messaging me on Patreon. He couldn't get into the Zoom meeting for some reason. I honest to God, I can't tell you how to do that. I can't. I'm not technical enough. Other than... you press on the link and it brings you in. That's the people that got in. Don't worry, there'll be another one in a fortnight's time. We'll have another one in a fortnight's time because that one was right good crack now. That was very good crack. We had a gang of people in and we were talking about personal injuries. And it was beautiful. It started off with just it was the brainchild, because we've been doing it on the Tom and Jerry show, you know, what ails you. And it was stuff that happened to you. And Davey was on, long-term listener, Davey was on, and he had suggested, you see, before this, he went, listen, we need to do something with injuries, Tom. I think that should be the next one, because I think the last one I did was shitty holidays. And I mean, that's a great idea. Everybody has busted injury stories, disease stories, and shit that happened to them. And he told a story. Now, in fairness, it was rank. Like, it was about somebody else and they're falling off and teeth getting driven out of the top of their head or whatever. But the absolute one-upmanship, it's the most natural thing in the world. And I would say there was a few people on in different... Well, it was only one person really who was actually JV. He was in Washington. And he was polite. Actually, do you know what it is? It's a fucking Irish thing. He just told his story about getting a belt of a PTO shaft and splitting him down the side of the head. But to be fair, it didn't feel one... Actually, it's an Irish thing. That's it. I hadn't copped it, but you know when you're in the pub and it's a gangy and somebody tells a story, but out of no badness, like, you have to outdo it, you know? It isn't good enough to just tell a story on parody with it. Like, it has to be outdone. What? And not in a smug way. That was it. Every single person had a story, and it was kind of one-upping the next one. And yeah, I told a gross one right at the very end, but I did give a disclaimer that this is vile. And it was fucking lovely. It was great hanging out, having a beer with the gang. So do come on, get on board. We've got a new one. Oh, Jesus Christ. Can I open it up? Can Tom do it in time? No, wrong one, Tom. Wrong tab. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with you, Tom? What's wrong with you? Let's see. Can I get because I said it, we got a gang of people last week, and we've another person, Emma Jane. There you go. Good on you, Emma Jane. Welcome to the party. Fantastic to have you on board. So you know the crack. You know the crack at this stage, lads. It's down in the show notes. If you want to jump on board, do. Takes only about 30 seconds just to support the podcast, but you do get the videos and you get the ad-free content. So you get the videos of the interview. You get this video that I am doing right now. Yes, my alarm goes off to tell me that I have to do the podcast. Jesus Christ. I'm ahead of myself today. We have a serious deer infestation. I mean, and I don't mind. Okay, yes, I know you're all thinking, well, would you not just fucking pick one or two of them off? I can't. It ain't the season. And to be fair, they're kind of nice. They're cute little fellas down nibbling. The only problem is they're shitting everywhere. Every fucking place. Which, again, it's, this is their land. Which is absolutely fair enough. But the fucking dog started eating it the other day. I'm like, here. Fucking dog come in, fucking jump on the sofa and lick you on the face like nothing happened. You're like, now I see her. Oh, man. Myself and the child sharing food. I mean, look, it's a thing. I mean, it's probably good for his immune system, but you kind of, the fucking smell off the dog for a starter. I'm sure the dog, those deer aren't eating it too contaminated. They're not going off smoking fags or whatever, but I'm just saying, here, there's a level where you're kind of going, I don't think it warrants shooting a whole bunch of them, but, do I let the dog out when they are out at night? That'd be a different fucking story then. You see all these little clip, all these little hooves going up the driveway. So I suppose, that's about the biggest issue where I am right now. I can't actually give out. I can't give out utter silence other than little birdies tweeting. The sun's been out. We got a balmy 17 degrees. 18 actually it hit yesterday. 18 degrees. Can you believe that? Oh, Jesus Christ. I didn't know what to do with myself. Probably burnt the head off myself now. I haven't actually looked at the video, what I'm filming here. Oh, no, I haven't actually. I haven't. It's cute enough. Oh, but no doubt, there's people all over the country are scalded, throwing on barbecues, going salad for lunch. Do you know this shit? I'm like, dude, don't be coming at me with you. I got a few people tagged me in barbecues that they were cooking. I'm like, I hear you and I appreciate you. I love it. But like, then I see, that they've got all the fucking, what you call a kit? What do they call a full kit wanker? I'm like, yeah. Why do you do it all expensive gear? And it's shiny. That should be black with fucking charcoal from the cooking you've been doing for the last few months. I mean, fucking busting out your barbecue just because the sun's come out. The fuck does that matter? When you go to a barbecue restaurant, you don't fucking eat it outdoor. Well, you probably would have to eat it out. Actually, now, yeah, did I mean? But you know what I mean? In the yester times, it'll be just, you got to get on the barbecue, lads. Simple as that. You got to be barbecuing all year round. Don't be just busting that shit out for the sun. I don't see what the correlation is. Well, I'd say I've blurred the lines a long time ago since I've made half my blood type fucking charcoal or charred meat. So I can't really speak on it, truth be told. Oh Lordy. But yes, thank you very much to Mick again. Actually, it was by total fluke. He was like, yeah, cheers for the ad, Tom. And he made me this coolest fucking, if anybody goes to my Instagram, you'll see the coolest gift using a laser etcher. He was able to cut out the buckshot logo into a piece of slate and made a stand and everything out of it. It was fucking class. So if anybody wants to send me gifts, feel free. It was cool. And I'll be honest, I had totally forgotten. And people had messaged me and I totally missed their messages until the following day. Until Tuesday, but it was the birthday of it was on Monday, and it was only that it was set in some calendar somewhere deep within Google that it wasn't showing up, but then it popped up in the middle of the afternoon. I'm like, yeah, fucking nice. And the excitement is palpable around what the fuck is that thing? This fucking, I don't know. When you accept, I know I possibly, should you be accepting, you know, they said, do you accept accept all, you know, when it comes to these things? Should you be accepting it? I don't think you should you? Yeah, because these fucking, I swear to God, again, you look up, I was looking up just, all it was timber work for a certain yoke that I was thinking of doing. Well, sweet suffering Jesus, they just seem to pop up now anytime. Like, I opened a couple of news articles, and which one I want to actually look for. And lo and behold, it is fucking popping up everywhere. And I think that's because I've hit accept on so many things now. And I know Gordo, I remember one of the days, it was only, we were doing a chat. Was it over at his place? I can't remember. And it came to the accept all bit. And of course, Gordo, being those conspiracy guys, bloke, he went, fucking no. And he continued on. And it just, suddenly driving home, was like, he said, oh yeah, he said no to accepting any of that. Yeah, I should be doing that too. Not that I've anything that anybody would give a fuck about looking into. But at the same time, if it would slow down the amount of fucking ads you get for a yoke after you've fucking looked for it, I have to get this off my chest, because Trinity College, this was sent on by Sharon Best, sent it on, knew I'd be outraged by it, and got sent on. And the more I dug into it, it fucking, you know, it is fucking scandalous. It is body shaming in a way, like. So Trinity College in Perth has banned mullet haircuts, labelling them unacceptable. Like an unacceptable haircut. I don't, like, they're doing it for the crack. Like, when you get blokes with top knots, they're doing it because they're cunts. Do you know what I mean? Like this isn't a haircut these lads are going to live by. Do you know what I mean? It's a posh school. The elite private school in Western Australia has banned the mullet hairstyle. Do you mean the hairdo not acceptable? Excuse me. Let's do this correctly. A posh Australia. So it is without reservation that the college sets clear requirements that ensure health and fucking safety with a fucking haircut, a mullet, as well as setting a high standard for personal presentation. The current trend is of growing the hair at the back of the head and or closely cropping the sides of the head to accentuate the inverted commas mullet style are untidy, non-conventional, and not acceptable at Trinity College, as is the trend for long hair and fringes. The college expectation of hairstyles can be found on page 18 of the student diary. Wow, I'd say that's some fucking read, isn't it? Huh? Go read the student diary. Like, it's just a bit of crack. They won't have it by the following. They won't have it by the fucking end of the summer. Do you know? How off the rails do you think the lads have gotten? If haircuts, do you know what I mean? If haircuts are like, see, this is the thing. This is the deeper thing. Like, I mean, they talk. You know, there was war when fucking girls weren't allowed to wear trousers in school, and there was war. They were going, nah, this is a fucking disgrace. It's a fucking disgrace. Fuckers should be allowed to wear what they fucking want to make themselves. And essentially was to make, I mean, I don't know whether it's just for fucking cow legs, but I can only imagine it's along the same lines. If you went after it the same way, the same fucking book of principles, if you went after it the same way, I know we're all smiling now. We're all smiling, but let's fucking take a stand here now. If you went after it the same way, you said in the same vein that they're not modifying their uniform. They're not, they're not behaving unruly. So you're saying somebody's like, could you get down to somebody's, weight? Could you get down to somebody's height? Like, is that going to be unacceptable after a while? Somebody's color? You know, now I know that none of those things are kind of a choice, really. Like, but what I'm saying is, yeah, I mean, it was what school was it in Bray? They allowed young lads were allowed to wear skirts into school. I think they'd lifted it to it. If you're feeling it, you can go do it. Which, you know, if you're still wearing a version of the school uniform, but for the most part, that wouldn't be allowed. And I think that's on the same lines, I think, of the mullet. Like, the college exceptions on hairstyles can be found on page 18 of the student diary. Students are not permitted to have mullets, rat tails, top knots, mohawk. I'm making some bollocks of this. Top knots, mohawk, a mohawk, extra long fringes, or any non-conventional hairstyles. Wow. So I want to get to the part what I love this. Like, some of the Australian politicians are fucking class. They're just fucking bloody fucking. And this Western Australian Mark McGowan has weighed in on the great mullet debate. I'm very proud of mullet. It's a unique Australian invention. Australian invention. Now, I know they do have a mullet like a convention, a competition in a town in Australia, but I did. So it's one which we've been selling to the world. Selling to the world? How are you selling haircuts to the world, mate? I just said mate. But I'll let the school make its own decisions. I'm pro mullet, but I'm not so pro rat tails. Rat tails are a bit beyond the pale. Okay, so I think we are all in agreement. That's kind of a scandal, especially when it comes to the mullet. Like, another thing, even the mohawk, like, I mean, I don't know. I could see why, because you see, they're trying to keep you down. That's what it is. They don't want individuality. That's all that is. They don't want, listen to me now getting all fucking tinfoil hat. But that is the truth. You couldn't be keeping lads in line if you're letting them do their own fucking thing. And maybe as youngsters, maybe they're right. Because if you started letting young fellas go fucking anyway half wild at all, they'd run roughshod over you. But I get a little bit of an exception. You know, just a little, maybe an inch or two below the neckline. You know what I mean? Just make it kind of cool. But that I'm taking. I'm fairly annoyed over it, and I shouldn't be. Am I woken out? Is that what happened when you spend too long at home? And I better jump on Twitter, be outraged by it, start cancelling that school. See, can I get a cohort behind me? See, can they maybe fund me? Anybody who's listened to this who knows what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, and which I can't say. And then behind it all, I secretly hate mullets. Because maybe tweets I tweeted that were unacceptable about mullets back in the day would be dug up and I'd be completely cancelled. If you did a bit of digging there yourself, you can go find out what I'm talking about. Anyway, I need to know about this mullet origins. Mullet. This will be a grey area if ever. Now, if ever, whoa. While literature's first mullet mention may come from the ancient Greek, oh, well, you fuck off. Is the mullet Australian or American? In Australia, mullets have often been panned as a bogan, a bloody bogan, a slang term for similar connotations to redneck. In the US, the hairstyles among Australian... the hairstyles image, but then I'm reading this here at the top. This is from fucking history.com, people, when it comes to mullets. While literature's first mullet mention may have come from the ancient Greek poet in the Iliad, which I'm guessing is a book of some sort, described by Abantes, a group of spearmen, as wearing their forelocks. Oh, that's your forelocks. Wow. We are learning stuff. So your mullet are your forelocks, your backlocks. That makes sense. Wow. Their forelocks cropped, hair growing long at the backs. The term mullet wasn't actually coined until 1994 thanks to the Beastie Boys song Mullet Head. Oh, now. So it's, lads, for my Australian listeners, I'm sorry. The mullet, why you may have made it funny, I don't know. I mean, there's an argument because here's the thing. The crossover between a bogan and a redneck is maybe a bogan knows about rednecks, but I can tell you here and now, rednecks sure shit don't know about bogans. Because I've met some proper deep south rednecks, and them lads didn't know where they're fucking they didn't know was it their cousin or their sister first of all. But when you're getting fellas who hear your accent go, you talk funny, you're from Scotland, you're like, I am from Scotland, yeah, because there's no point in going into it. Geography is not going to be your fucking high point. But so I mean, do you know, like, these things pop up in cultures like from around the world, you're going, how did they know that they do the same thing? Was there a crossover? Like when they walked across the great ice plains from Africa, was there, you know, before the ice plains separated, did they part ways, you know, admiring each other's forelocks? Oh, so your forelocks, your forelocks is your fringe. I think that's a way better word than fringe. The forelocks. Like, how did a redneck end up with a mullet and a redneck in Australia end up with a mullet? Because like I said, it doesn't go both ways. Bogans would know about rednecks and fucking American, you know, culture or whatever. But these lads, these proper rednecks who have that haircut, they're not going, hi, Dale, get your ass out of here. I seen a fella on TV. He was Australian. He had the darndest haircut. Now I'm gonna go ahead and cut my hair like that, man. Talk funny. He's from Chili Bang Bang or someplace in Australia. We gonna go ahead and cut our hair like that. We crop it tight at the sides, leaving our forelocks as normal and growing down the back of our head, down our ass. Like, there's no fucking way that happened. I don't know. I would have been under the impression it was an American thing. Just saying. And I know the Australians are going, of course, you're bloody gonna say, no, I know. You feel sorry for yourself, and you at times, and Australia's kind of wants to be America sometimes with their muscle cars and things like that. But I'm reading here, history.com, lads. The first mullet was a fucking Greek, lads. They were spearmen. Spearmen. I'm just saying, I'm going to put that picture right up right now of this chap. Although he looks Native American. That lad is Native American if ever I saw it. Yeah. And that is as old as fuck picture. So that is Native American. I'm going to put up that picture because he looks badass. Just to show it. So, and as it's pre-70s, I can tell you that much. So, lads, Australians, I'm sorry. All the evidence are against you. It's, but I mean, I've talked about this in the last couple of weeks. A lot of rugby players are wearing the mullet now, and they look class. I'm delighted for them. Or things will start leveling back out again. You can all get your shit from Wish because the Suez Canal is now fucking open. Imagine all the shit and dildos and fucking gag balls. The love I would have to know the list of items that was on that boat, or even boats that were behind it being held up. Some people went, fuck this, and went around the way. They went around Africa, 15,000 miles. It's a fucking tight one to call, isn't it? You go, well, this gun mightn't be out here for fucking 3 weeks, lads. We'll be sitting here, twiddling our thumbs. Will we get going? It's a decision to make, because you don't know if he's going to be freed up in the next fucking day. Then you feel like a bollocks when you're halfway around Africa going, for fuck's sake. They got it fucking cleared. Well, they got him cleared anyway. I'd love to know the fucked up items that were being held up. Of course, it's going to be all sorts of things like housing appliances and stuff like that, but there must be like the fucking gang of butt plugs somewhere, being held up somewhere. You get somebody trying to order online, they're like, sorry, man, Suez Canal, ironically, is being plugged by a 400-meter fucking boat. But, vegetables are near... So a giant fucking butt plug on this. Man, imagine the asshole you'd feel. Like, oh my God. I got a Volvo stuck in the field one time. It was a mother's car. It was a cool Volvo. I was like fucking, I don't know, 10 or 11. I thought I'll take this for a cut. Went down the back field. Fucking flying around I was. I shouldn't have been. It was a nice fucking Volvo, like. But I had no respect for anything. I still don't. Don't give a shit. Don't give a bloody shit, Jimmy. Tearing around this thing. I was taking it back out and getting it back in, like, to the parents' driveway where the gateway was. Buried. All four wheels down to the fucking axles. And there was only one thing to do. Now, it didn't mark the field. Weirdly, it didn't really mark the field. That's why it wasn't that wet of a day. Like, it hadn't been wet in a while in this wet fucking spot. Got it buried. Went and got the grandfather, who at the time had the farm just across the road, kind of up a little bit. And you're thinking, at the time, you just think all adults are in conspiracy against children. I thought, he's going to fucking grass me up here. And he brought down the tractor, pulled it straight out. We washed down the car, had it spotless. And the four holes where the whatchamacallit was, where the four wheels had gotten sunk in. Our legend, boy. Pulled the spade out, went down the field further, dug up four big sods, about the same size, tapped them down in neatly, and then got a rake and brushed back over the grass. Neat as could be, like, you from a distance you wouldn't see it. He says, that'll buy you a couple of days. And yeah, he never grassed me up. Pardon the pun. Never grassed me up. He didn't. And it was only, I was probably in my 20s when I said it. They were like, I fucking knew it. 4 patches went fucking dead. Kind of, and they grew back in then after a while, like, but they went fucking yellow. And we couldn't, for the life of us, work out what it was. Just didn't even consider, because the car had been spotless. It was back in the, so he had put a mark down for where the car had been parked as well. And any children listen to this. This is exactly what you do if you need to steal the car. I'm not going to tell you not to, because you're gonna. I'm just telling you how to do it safely. It's like the young fella at the minute, climbing fucking everything. Come in the other evening, he'd pushed over a chair, worked out how to get a picture frame down off the fucking wall. He went, and he walked over to me with it. Like, here. But a couple of weeks back, he'd been climbing up his own fucking high chair and stuff like that. And rather than having a meltdown and going, yeah, don't do that. Well, he's going to do it. May as well just show him how to do it properly. So I showed him how to climb things properly and get down off the thing. Because he was just going, I'm up here now. Now I'll walk straight off the edge. Crocodile Dundee around the edge of that building, just going to walk straight off the fucking edge. So at least that much. So that's all I'm telling you, kids. Yeah, grandfather never grassed me up. Fair fucking play to him. And I the other night at the live podcast, just for the croc, the backdrop, the green screen backdrop I did was a picture of the Beacon Hotel. People's surprise at this. I mean, it'll be all swept under the carpet. Like, let's be honest. But to think that isn't happening the world over. I mean, there's jokes about it. Sacha Baron Cohen was joking about it. He was on with, was a Fallon or somebody the other night on the phone. I was taking phone calls from like Bono and stuff like that, who he was claiming he was dealing vaccine on the side. It's fucking happening. You could be guaranteed it's happening. It's guaranteed it's happening. The CEO of the fucking Beacon Hotel, for anybody who's going, what? Most people won't be, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But last week, the Beacon Hotel would be a private hotel or private fucking hospital in Dublin. And the CEO is a very wealthy man. His son goes to St. Gerard's, which is a private school it was actually right alongside where we used to live. And he had 25 vaccines left over at the end of the day, as you do. Apparently there was no-shows. They had 20 no-shows, which is interesting if you got your whatever. But rather than just turning around and going, here we a hospital full of sick people here, will we just give it to them? They're probably waiting on it. He rang up. Now, again, we need the full story. Like, we need the full story, because I'll say why we need the full story in a second when I finish this one, because I'm a whore for jumping around the place. But he called his son's school, and I blasted their teachers. 20 of the teachers, I think, came in from the school. That's got to be all the teachers. In a private school, they wouldn't be. There wouldn't be more than fucking 20 teachers. That's got to be all of them. And within the hour, they were all in the road, because it is only out the road. It's only like maybe 10, not even 10 miles down the motorway. And called them all in. They all got their first shot. Now they'll have to come back and get their second shot, but yeah, they all got their shot, and it got released. And people were asking, they were like, "Well, why would you do that? Like, why would you not just give it to the patients who are in the hospital, the actual patients who are in the hospital? Why would you not? Like, literally anybody who's walking into that hospital is most likely going to be more deserving of it than a healthy walking around person. That's the thing, like. And here's the kicker. They're not going to be doing exams really this year for final exams. They're going to be doing assessment by the teachers on their own students. Just assessment, how you were down through the year. And yeah, they're gonna base it on that. So if you wanted to win the good graces of a teacher during a pandemic, and you had the means to get a way to solving the pandemic situation for that teacher, then you would you would do it. I don't think I'd fucking do it. I don't think I'd do it, because you just couldn't risk it. Like, I mean, and anyway, even if your young fellow was thick as shit, which is highly, highly possible, what does it fucking matter when you're that wealthy? He'd be grand, regardless. He'd be grand. There'd be no problem for him. What are you doing bringing that fucking... I mean, you could say, oh, you do stupid things when you're under pressure, you've only got an hour, they're going to go off. You do it when you're a fucking numpty, not when you're the CEO of the biggest private fucking hospital in the country. When you're at that level, you have to be able to perform under pressure. And he fucking did. He did. And I think we're going to get a lot more of it is going to come out. I know they said the chief of staff of the VHI, which is again the biggest insurer here in the country, health insurer. Well, I'd say it's the biggest. It's up there anyway. It's up there, one of the biggest ones in the country, and he got the vaccine. But they kind of glossed over the fact that I think the guy was in hospital with cancer. Do you know, like, I think I could be wrong, but this is why we need to know the full story. Well, Dad, I think, you know what? I think we've done enough of the podcast. I think we've done enough of it. But this is, for anybody who's brand new, you're going, what am I listening to here? This is just a little check-in on you in the middle of the week to see how you're going. See how you're getting on. Thank you all, everybody, for your lovely comments. We have a winner, and we will announce it very soon, because I'm going to put something out next week through the Tom and Jerry Show channel to announce the winner. We have the winner of the comment section and the reviews. So thank you very, very much. Keep the reviews going for this one, obviously, for Buckshot. But if you haven't listened to the Tom and Jerry Show, go find the Tom and Jerry Show. It's under the same banner as this. It's myself and Jerry McBride. Jerry with a G, not with a J, because we wouldn't have gotten away with that. So it's... he didn't change his name. He is actually Jerry with a G. So thank you very much. There was a few sniffs and sad people. People were fucking loving season 4. They were getting longer and longer, weren't they? They were nearly 2-hour podcasts by the fucking end. Go have a listen to that if you want to hear a couple of bollocks just cursing at each other. It's good old crack. And we actually put a bit of effort into it. I won't say a lot, but we put a bit of effort into it. We couldn't shut ourselves up. That's the big problem. They're talking like two fucking... I was going to say like 2 old women, but sure, men have been as bad as fucking women for chatting forever. Like, so go over, have a gander at that. And like I said, I'll announce next week the winner. And do we have a fucking prize for you? Oh, and I'm taking full credit for this because this is my brainchild. But we have a quality prize for who's after winning this. I fucking love it. I want it myself. But we're getting one made up. And it's a one-off, but I think going forward we may come up with a merch, which leads me nicely to my merch. My merch section is in the show notes too. thank you very much. Anybody who has gotten, if you'd like to send a picture, when you do get the gear, I don't know, I would say 95%. I know people are probably a bit shy, which is understandable. Not everybody's a loudmouth fucker like me, so it's understandable. But it'd be class if I got to see a picture, because I don't know where the stuff goes. I don't know where it goes. They just tell me you made a sale. So if you did get a thing and you haven't, it'd be cool, or at least a message just say, yeah, it landed in wherever it got to. So yeah, there you go. Before I go, I just want to play this legend. Like they say, people. You think people of yesteryear were just out fucking whatevers, and they when you see people shy around camera, and I've been saying this for years that Tipperary people are we're a bit too confident possibly for our own fucking good. But this bloke, just a fucking legend. This bloke called Mick, Tipperary man. He was buried alive back in the 60s for 61 days on purpose, to beat a record. And there's this great guy on CR's Video Vaults. He has all these archives from RT archives, and brilliant stuff. He's fucking loads of it on YouTube. It doesn't really get the viewership it should. And I'm not sure who CR is. I should probably look into it. But he has all these great old videos. And he put up this one. And it's this bloke, a fine cut of a man, leaning on a gate, Tipperary man, talking to RT about his whatchamacallit, his record breaking attempt at being buried underground. But I love there's zero, fucking zero shyness from this guy. Just have a listen to this.
Mick, who do you blame for not being in the Guinness Book of Records?
Well, I don't know who to blame. But there's one thing, the Guinness Book of Records has not been fair to me. It could be hard to blame him because I didn't write him. But anyway, the Guinness Book of Records could have clearly seen at the time. 61 days was hammered out from the 21st day of February 1968 to the 22nd day 1968 under worldwide television, under worldwide radio. But what papers are the pile of papers in the height of a man over in London on final day. The crowd, there are nearly 100,000 people there. There's a massive crowd there in London when I won the title.
There's 100,000 people there. You can't really, you'll see the videos over my shoulder here on the video, but you possibly can't pick it up in audio. But your man don't give a fuck, and that, I'm not going to play the video through to the end, but you just kind of forget, because a lot of videos you'd see of people from yesteryear, because everybody's a cocky fucker now in front of a camera a lot, but people from yesteryear, they tend to be, oh, Jesus, go away with the camera. This fella's sitting there I'll fucking fight you. I'll fight you. And it gets to a bit throughout, his favourite bit, we're what was the highlight of the whole thing? Beating the Americans. You're oh, Jesus, fair enough. But it was kind of striking that your man don't... And watch the video. Go have a look for this guy. Tipperary man buried alive for 61 days. It was filmed in 1974. But towards the end, your man is... I'll fucking do it again. If somebody wants to challenge... He was talking about a fella, I think an American guy and a Cork guy who said, if you want to challenge me, come at me, bro. It's his version of come at me, bro. Fucking brilliant. I love it. Your man's I don't give a fuck. And saying it to camera as well, just fucking bowled, ignorant bastard. But probably my favourite bit of the whole thing was, well, I didn't call him how the fuck are Guinness Book supposed to know about it? Oh, well, you're supposed to have just found out because of the newspaper. You have to fucking set up it has to be kind of official there, Mick. It has to be kind of official. But sure, look it. I'm going to head on, lads. I have a busy day ahead of me. And sure, so do ye. In some respects, I have no doubt. You know what to do. Share the love. Give it the 5 stars if you're listening. So Stitcher, if you are listening on Stitcher, you can do it on that. I think you can do it on Apple. You definitely do it on Apple Podcasts, but give it the 5 stars and give it a nice rating. Or whatever you want. Just take a screenshot, tag the podcast or tag me and throw it up on whatever platform you want to. That'd be beautiful, lads. That'd be absolutely beautiful. If you want to be a Patreon, be a Patreon. We're going to do another live show in a fortnight's time. The video of this will be up there today for the Patreons, as well as Friday's guest. That video will be out tomorrow, Thursday, for the Patreons. So, there you have it. Right, boys and girls, mind yourself. Good luck. I'll talk to you again.